Good evening, I'm Wendy Takuda.
And I'm Ken Bastida. Today, San Francisco's district attorney pressed Congress to repeal a law that she says makes it much tougher to fight crime. The law prevents the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms from sharing any information about guns used in crimes with state and local agencies.
This will shackle the hands of law enforcement and government in our ability to be able to detect where and to whom guns are being sold.
According to Kamala Harris, the law makes it much more difficult for officers to trace who owns the guns found at crime scenes. Police and prosecutors say that it is already too difficult to uncover the history of guns found at many crime scenes. As John Lobertini reports, it's very easy for the criminals to eliminate a key piece of evidence. John?
Well, Kenny, this neighborhood off Florin Road in South Sacramento is one of the most violent in this city. In fact, earlier this year, a 17-year-old boy was shot and killed in broad daylight right here in front of Luther Burbank High School. That in itself is obviously troubling, but the weapons used in crimes like this one tell a much deeper story. In Sacramento, police officers and sheriff's deputies are facing guns in near record numbers. Last year, they confiscated the highest number of semi-automatic pistols in 5 years. Police Chief Alma Harris says the gun owners are getting younger, too.
It's like a nice car or nice jewelry. Having a weapon is considered a status symbol in some circles, so we're seeing more and more high-powered weapons out there.
The property rooms of both agencies are filled with more than 2,200 weapons. With the serial numbers filed down, guns stolen, and others bought out of state, there's no history on roughly two-thirds of them. For San Francisco District Attorney Kamala Harris, it's a familiar story.
In the year 2006, 85% of our homicides were committed with the use of a gun.
In California, residents are allowed to buy one gun every 30 days, with a 10-day waiting period. But in neighboring Nevada and Arizona, there's no waiting, no limits. California also restricts the sale of assault weapons like AK-47s, Tech-9s, and rapid-fire bullet dispensers of more than 10 rounds. In Nevada and Arizona, no restrictions. Some say that's made Reno a pipeline for guns to the Bay Area. This is how an undercover cop described it in a CBS 5 report back in February.
Uzis, AK-47s, Tech-9s, firearms that are fully automatic, capable of shooting 30 rounds in a matter of just a few seconds. Firepower that any police department is easily outgunned.
In Sacramento, investigators believe half the guns used in crimes here are coming from Reno. In April, a Stockton gun dealer was arrested as he left a big gun show with semi-automatic pistols, an assault weapon, and rapid-fire ammunition. He's also accused of trying to buy a military-grade submachine gun. Weapons and even body armor now turning up in gang sweeps like this one last month in Lodi.
Ballistic body armor. I mean, some of these gangsters have the same ballistic body armor that we as police officers have.
Civil rights leader Jesse Jackson during a stop in San Francisco.
Those got this idea about if I have a gun in my house, I'm safe for protecting myself from a robber. Chance of a family member killing a family member are greater than an outside invader. By 22 times.
Federal law is another problem. A 2003 amendment to an existing law now makes it next to impossible for local police to track weapons. Police Chief Nahara.
And if we could get laws changed to allow us to trace weapons and ammo, we would be light years ahead of where we are.
Now, until that 2003 change in the law, local police departments had in-depth information on gun ownership, manufacturing, and licensed federal arms dealers. Investigators say, Kenny, it's the kind of information they need to track gun trafficking trends and problem gun dealers. As we've already mentioned, San Francisco DA Kamala Harris has joined a growing list of people lobbying Congress for a change in that law.
John Lobertini following the story from Sacramento. Thank you, John.